and they were never left at peace, and so they sat down and said, okay, this is it. We're now going to be the meanest son of a bitch warriors you have ever seen, because that's the only thing the world will let us do, and they did. And that's all in that book. Does this suggest anybody else? The ideal, of course. So his influences were global, really, not just Arthurian, and I can't think of peculiarly Arthurian stuff.
Did he read the Morte? Mallory?
He must have, but I don't remember seeing a copy of it.
Okay. Thank you.
It might have been in there next to his college physics textbooks. He was an omnivore.
Yeah, he had almost as many books as he had weapons. No, I think he had way more books, but he had a lot of weapons that he would try and work out so he could describe things accurately. It was wonderful to see his armory in his library. All right, let's do a couple more questions. Let's do someone over here in the way back. Yes, you, go for it. Yeah, we will. We'll do the book signing very shortly, and we'll let you come up to the front because you're getting it for your son. You said such nice things. Okay. So when we call people for the book signing, everyone knows you can come up to the front. All right. All right. Let's do another question. Okay, right here.
Short one. Is there any history of the term blood and bloody ashes?
Is there any history of the term blood and bloody ashes? Harriet?
No.
All right. All right. Let's go right here.
You were mentioning his college physics textbooks. One of the things that's always bugged me, in his notes, does he work out things like conservation laws? Because the whole system has to have something in it there, but man, I can't figure that out.
Did Robert Jordan work with the law of conservation of energy? Harriet, you want me to talk about this, or do you? Okay. From what I've seen, he considered it, certainly, and the power that is doing a lot of these things is coming from somewhere. As you'll recall, the original way they discovered the Dark One was because they discovered another source of energy which they felt they could use for their various weaves and things. And so the energy is coming from somewhere. The true power, for instance, is coming from the Dark One. We aren't necessarily aware what the what the one power is, what the source is, but it's there. And so the law of conservation of energy is working because there is a source for this energy. It's not coming from just nowhere. But we're not sure exactly what the foundation of that is.
Is there a sink? That's the question.
Is there a sink?
For every source, there has to be a sink.
Yes. Well, the things I've read make me think that Robert Jordan considered this, but it was not something that the characters were considering, and so it wasn't appropriate to include in the books. All right, we'll go right here.
All the different cultures have different prophecies regarding Rand. Are these from a common source, and is it evil?
The question is, there are a lot of different prophecies about Rand. Are they from a common source, and is it evil?
It seems to me like a great way to make an endgame happen, and are orchestrated from afar.
I will say that it is not that simple. That's all that I will say. It is not that simple. Why do they always ask? Read and find out.
I mean, don't they understand we could tell them? But I think they want to live.
All right, one more question, and then everything else you can ask as you come along. All right, you in the back right there.
Why do you write?
Why do I write? For the same reason that most writers write. If I didn't, I would go crazy. I write compulsively. I don't know if you guys know, but I wrote 13 novels before I sold one. Book 6, Elantris, was the first one that sold, and I would still be writing at least one book a year, every year, even if I'd never been able to do this for a living. And so that's just the way that we writers think. We have to get stuff on the page. And I think Jim was the same way. Absolutely. All right, let's go over my little list of things. First off, a question that everyone asked that no one asked here, but someone will ask in the line, so to make the line move faster. The Outriggers and or the prequels, the answer is, we don't know. All right? Harriet's quote on this is a quote from Kenny Rogers. You've got to know when to hold them, you've got to know when to fold them, and you've got to know when to walk away. And she will decide when to walk away. No one wants to see the Wheel of Time become something like Star Wars or Star Trek. But we don't have an answer for you right now. So there you go. All right. Harriet and I, we will begin by pre-signing about 10 copies, which we will set out, and if you have to take off, you can just come buy one of those, so you don't have to wait in line. This signing will probably take 2 to 2.5 hours. All right, so if you've got one of the later wristbands, you can probably go grab lunch and come back. And we will be here until 5 o'clock. That's the earliest we would leave. I would guess that we will be here till like 5:30. So we will sign everyone's books, but just so you know, we will have some pre-signed that you can just grab. All right. The poster. Where is our poster?
It's in the window. It's
in the window. We will be raffling off the poster with a free raffle. I don't know what you call it if you're not. Oh, we can do it right now. I am going to draw a name to win the poster. Okay. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to pull out a name, and then you can bring this up and get it signed when your time in line comes. It is Ariel Holmes. Ariel, there you are. You may get the poster and get it signed by us, and I hope you appreciate that. There, you can take that. All right. You've probably already heard this, but if you have a large stack of books, we ask either get 3 personalized and signed and then go back through the line, or just wait to the end of the line and just come up then, just so that people in the front who only have one book, we can move through all of them, and if you've got a large stack. So generally the idea is that 3 books. We don't want to discourage you from buying more, though, so we really do want to sign lots of books, but maybe if you're thinking of getting a whole stack, you could wait. Borders likes us to say that books you buy specifically here that we'll be sure to sign, but, you know, we'll play it by ear, but, you know, try and be aware of people behind you in line. I will not sign books that I didn't write. I don't think it's respectful to Robert Jordan, but Harriet will sign all of the other Wheel of Time books if you want her to. So if you want to buy a copy of Eye of the World and have her sign it, she will. She did edit on the books from the beginning. Harriet is a wonderful editor, one of the best in the field. I mean, she was working in this field long before she discovered and then married Robert Jordan. She edited, for instance, the book Ender's Game, if you've ever read that. Harriet brought you that book as well. And I do know that she's signing that, so if you want to buy a copy of that, she will sign on the acknowledgments page where they talk about her. Harriet will not sign books that she didn't work on, which would be my books. And so I'm going to very quickly mention what my books are, because I am on tour for Warbreaker as well as for The Gathering Storm, though most everything is focused on that. But are there copies of Warbreaker left? They sold out of Warbreaker. Well, I guess I'm on tour for it and you can't buy it. But we do have these lovely box sets of the Mistborn trilogy, the entire trilogy. In box set form, it is complete and done. The first book of Mistborn is the book that Harriet read that made her choose me to write The Wheel of Time. So if you're curious at all about my work, that's a really good place to start. This is the first book right here, Volume 1, and I'm happy to sign it, and we will have them sitting up here to tempt you as you walk by in line. And this is the other book that you could get, is Elantris. It is a standalone. It's the book that I sold, my 6th book. It was the first one that broke me in, that one that I refused to shop anywhere else but Tor. So, All right, wow. These look really slick. If you buy a box set, I'll count that as one. Okay, how about that?